Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new here. So for today's video, I am so excited about this one, but we're going to be reviewing the new Nomad Cosmetics Harvest Valley palette.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way.
I'm so excited for this one. You guys know how much I love the fall season, and when they sent this to me in PR, I was like, say less.
Oh, say less.
So you guys want to see what my thoughts are on this palette, what this palette's all about, and is it actually worth it? Well, then definitely keep watching. Oh my gosh, so when they first did the reveal of the palette, I laughed and I was like, no, because like if I would have just had this just a couple weeks ago, I would have probably ranked this to be in my top 10 fall palettes. If you guys have not seen, I recently did a video where I ranked my top 10 favorite fall palettes, but not just my top 10. I also did like honorable mentions. So there's like 18 palettes in total that I thought really captured the essence of the fall season. And then Nomad sent me this, and it's like they knew. It's like they knew.
A lesson in the importance of unagi.
That I did that video. So they were so kind enough to send this to me in PR. This is the new Nomad Cosmetics Hudson Valley eyeshadow palette. Now, I did not know that Hudson Valley is actually located in New York. I generally had no idea because I've never been to New York. So whenever I think of New York, I think of, you know, the New York Times, it's like town. I think of Times Square. I think of Statue of Liberty. I think of like New York City, like the big, massive city. I forget that there's actually so much more to the state. Like one of my good friends, she's from Rochester, New York, which I know is pretty up there, close to like the Canadian border. So I forget that there's other places like this that exist as well. And to see the essence of this captured like on the palette is so beautiful. This looks absolutely stunning. If you guys did not know, I believe the owners of the brand actually got married in Hudson Valley during the fall season, and it just looks incredible. So here's this palette. I unfortunately don't know the price point on this palette. They didn't list it on their post. So I would assume it's anywhere between the price of like $39 to $44, somewhere around that price range. I actually do have a discount code with them. It is code Allie, which will save you guys 10% off your purchase. And this palette will be launching technically like tonight/tomorrow morning. So it's gonna be launching at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, technically tomorrow morning, like Tuesday morning. But like if you're on the West Coast, it'll be launching at like 9 p.m. tonight Pacific Standard Time. So like a unique time for the palette to be launching, but that's how they do all their launches. So by the time you guys wake up tomorrow morning, this palette will be live. So here we have the Nomad Cosmetic Hudson Valley. Now, it's actually really cool is that they sent over the Nomad's Guide to the Hudson Valley Foliage Trail right here. It says lift here. How does I lift here? It smells like Michael's craft store mixed with Hobby Lobby, mixed with draining my bank account, mix it with I need more fall decorations than I actually need. It smells like heaven. It smells like heaven. They did say on their post that they are including this with palettes. Not every single palette's going to receive it because they only printed so many, but they will have this available on their website. So it's like a little, trail guide. You start off at Greg Farm, then you go to Keswick Farm, followed by American Bounty, walkway over the Hudson. You go to Dubai's Farm, followed by Minnewaska State Park. Then you have Tantalios Farm Market, followed by Angry Orchard. This is where Angry Orchard's from. Shut the fuck up. Are you serious? I love Angry Orchard. Then there's the Harvest Fest in Walden. Then there's the Brother Winery. Then you go to the Hudson Highland State Park, followed by the Hudson House River Inn, followed by Bear Mountain, followed by the Great Jack O'Lantern Blaze, followed by Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow's here? Are you serious? I did not know that Sleepy Hollow was here. Wow, where have I been? I really need to get out of the state of Florida. But here we have a really cool guide on the back. It actually has information about all those places that I just listed off to you guys. And then as always, they sent over a beautiful, beautiful gift card. So this is the Hudson Valley right here. It says I Heart New York on the back. It says, take a trip with us along the Hudson Valley Foliage Trail. Explore fall season of autumn colors while enjoying fun and quintessential fall activities. And it says, happy fall, Allie. Thanks, happy fall. Okay, so it says the story. Nestled between Manhattan and Albany, New York, the 150-mile-long Hudson Valley is breathtaking in autumn. The perfect fall foliage destination. It's full of historic towns like Sleepy Hollow and Woodstock. This is where Woodstock was too? Wow. Where did I think that was at? You know, I never thought where that was at. I also wasn't alive then. So it says Bullock Farms, from Bullock Farms to apple picking, farm to table restaurants to enjoy, and tons of scenic parts to get outdoors. This is where Felicia grew up, so it's a special destination. We're excited for you to come explore with us in this blazing autumn. The palette is a season turning. Early autumn warmth of red apple, golden oak, ripe apple, and harvest pumpkin open the palette. Peak foliage tones shimmer brilliantly in the middle, and crisp late autumn cooler hues of fallen leaves, moss, frosty moss, and exposed woods close it. There are 12 mattes and 3 shimmers. The cause. We are proud to support Scenic Hudson that protects the Hudson River and the surrounding lands. You guys know how much I love Nomad because they consistently give back every single destination that they go and travel and represent their palettes. They're always giving back. Such a phenomenal brand. So here we have this right here. Now, I know there's so many of you dying to see this palette. Can we just take a moment to appreciate the outside packaging? Truly, this is probably one of the prettiest outside packagings Nomad has released to date. This is my absolute favorite. And when you guys open it on the inside, this is the Hudson Valley palette. You are going to have those yellows, those oranges, those reds, those maroons, the greens, the browns, the purples. Definitely a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fall palette. But is it my favorite fall palette? We're going to find out. I'm going to go ahead and swatch these shades for you. I think I can finally read off every single name of the shade, because typically whenever they go to a destination, usually they have very corresponding shade names to that destination that I can never read. So I think I can actually read this one for you for the first time. So I'm excited. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch these shades, and then we're just going to go dive right in because I'm excited to play with this. Okay, so here are the swatches. We have Cider House, Fall Festival, Corn Maze, Farmer's Market, Ghost Tour, Great Pumpkin Patch, Apple Picking, Foliage Trail, Mountain Hike, Apple Cider Donuts, Oktoberfest, Wine Harvest, Leaf Peeping, Bed and Breakfast, and Farm to Table right there. Again, very, very beautiful. Definitely fits into like the fall theme. You're going to have those beautiful cool tone muted colors, as well as those like those fall light colors with like the yellows, the oranges, the reds, the maroons, and the purples. So I am so excited. We're going to zoom you guys in, and we're going to start to create the perfect like fall look. At least in my mind. I'm gonna try it too. So let me go ahead and get you guys zoomed in. All right, so we're gonna try to go for this look. Don't know if it's gonna turn out pretty, but you know, we're gonna go for it. So I'm gonna take the shade Wine Harvest, like this beautiful like maroon purple shade, and we're gonna start in our outer corner and just slightly work our way inward, but like not too much. So I just want to take a minute to thank everybody who entered my 40K giveaway and who just participated in my 40K like video. It's still like so surreal. And it's like, you guys were so sweet. You guys were said that my old content was not cringy. I definitely think it was cringy, like so cringy. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm glad I can like look back at it and like see the difference from how I was then versus how I am now. Like that's something that I'm very grateful that I have the opportunity to do so, because it's kind of like watching like a live diary. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I get to see like my life progress. Because when I started doing YouTube, I was 27, going on 28, I believe, is when I started doing YouTube. I don't exactly remember exactly how old I was. I want to say I was around then, right? Like I know I couldn't have been much older than 27, 28. And that's like when I started YouTube. And then I remember celebrating my 30th birthday on my Florida Life channel. So yeah, I had been like around that age. I'm going to go into the shade Great Pumpkin Patch. It's actually like exactly the same shade as like the sweater that I'm wearing. Which, by the way, I always get asked like whenever I'm wearing any clothes, pretty much like where I get my stuff from. Target, Target, Target. I love it. But yeah, so I remember being like 27. So it's just crazy to see like how far I've come versus like where I was then. Like I still hate my very first video of me being like, hi, my name is Allie Dawson. Oh, it's so cringy. I refuse to watch that video. I think I did it like one time I watched it, but you know, it was when I followed the trend of like following a Robbie Christie tutorial. And that that was such a fun video. I kind of want to do more of those videos. So if you guys see any content creator that you guys want me to follow, like their makeup stuff, like let me know. It doesn't have to be anything new. It could be something old from like 2016, 17, 18, like whoever you guys want me to follow. Like I kind of want to bring that trend back just a little bit because that was actually a lot of fun. I actually find tutorials to be a lot of fun. A lot of people don't really like watching them, but like for me, they're fun to like do, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I kind of do tutorials, but like I don't at the same time because I'm doing an eyeshadow review, but at the same time, I'm also like doing a tutorial where like I'm showing you guys what I'm doing, like how I'm creating the look that I'm creating. So like it's kind of both, right? Okay, so now that we laid that down, I'm just gonna pack the outer V with that same like purple shade. It's a beautiful like maroon shade. I'm just gonna kind of pack this right here. Again, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I'm just kind of going with the flow and just wanting to play with it. If it turns out pretty, that's going to be great. If it doesn't, that's also okay. I am going to go into the shade Ghost Tour because it's like a muted white almost. And I'm going to use that to kind of like buff out the shade right here to kind of blend it out just a little bit more. All right, I'm going to go into the shade once again. Great Pumpkin Patch right here. We're going to try to do like a fall look. I know like a lot of people out there might be using more gray, like more muted gray tone greens and gray colors, but I really want to go more festive because fall is my favorite time of year, and I just want to like utilize the colors as best as I can because these colors are just so pretty, and I don't ever really get to use them that often except during this time. Okay, now that that is laid down, we're gonna go into the shade Cider House, like this yellow shade right here, this beautiful like mustard yellow shade. Guys, I wish that I really want to go visit a place that has the fall season because I've never seen like fall like in real life. I live in Florida and we don't have that here. We have wet and dry season. Like fall season does not exist for us. So it'd be so nice to like drive through a place and like see like the fall leaves turn orange and blue, orange and yellow and red and maroon. Like that is like such a dream of mine. And I've seen people on TikTok like do like these aesthetic vibe videos, and I just look at it with such envy. Like, oh, I freaking envy where you live because I wish I could see something like that. Like I envy those who live in seasons. I know a lot of you guys tell me that you guys hate the cold, you guys hate the snow, but think about it this way, I never get to experience it. So like I envy you, you know? All right, then we're gonna go into the shade Leaf Peeping. I don't know what that means, but Leaf Peeping. We're gonna lay that right next to that. There's only 3 shimmers in this palette, which I found to be quite interesting because typically they have a little bit more shimmers, but this time I only offered 3. So I thought that was kind of interesting and kind of nice too because they have a lot more variety in terms of like their matte shades, which I really do appreciate. I don't like it. I don't like it. So we're gonna try this again because I don't like it. So let's try this again. Okay, so that obviously didn't work, and this is what I go through on a daily basis. Whenever I do eye looks, I'm always like uncertain of myself. This is why I always say that I can definitely use room for improvement. I am not like a makeup pro. I'm just an enthusiast who loves playing with makeup. So the first look I did didn't work out. Usually darker shades can be very intimidating and you have to have the right shadow next to it. And I just don't know if I wasn't pairing it right. I don't know. I just thought it was so messy. I didn't like how it looked. So instead, I'm still going to use fall colors, but this time I'm going to incorporate like the muted green tones so you guys can see what those ones will look like. So I'm going to kind of use this side a little bit today with the oranges as well. So we're going to go into this first shade right here. We're going to go into Mountain Hike and we're going to utilize this green. Hopefully this works out. I don't know. We're just going to go for it and just kind of call it a day. But this is definitely a beautiful like green shade as well. So I'm going to take it. I'm just going to pack it here on the outer corner. It's a beautiful like muted green tone. And if you guys can't tell, my eyelid is kind of stained from that Wine Harvest. That's the only other difficulty whenever it comes to working with such pigmented shades, especially when like they're red and purple. They do have the capability of staining. And oh my God, they're just a pain sometimes to work with because they can stain. So if you mess up, granted, you can kind of cover it up. But like if you wear it all day and then you take it off, but sometimes my lids have like a little pink stain to it. I'm just like, great. So we're just going to pack this right here. This is a beautiful, beautiful muted green. Absolutely love this. This kind of looks like baby's diarrhea green, just a tad, right? So pretty. I would never say that about a baby's poop though, that it's pretty. I just think this is a pretty shade. Okay, now that we laid that shade down, now we're gonna go into the shade Fall Harvest, and we're gonna tap that in the inner corner, and we're gonna kind of do like a halo eye using these shades. So we're gonna go into like this orangey shade right there. And let's just hope that this works. It just sucks. The only problem about digging into these shadows is that usually the little imprints they have tend to disappear after digging into them. So that's a little unfortunate, but we could definitely still appreciate it when they were there. This kind of reminds me of the Gators colors, right? Like Florida Gators. Definitely unintentional, not trying to do that. Okay. Then we're going to trust the process. We're going to go into the shade Corn Maze, which I find it kind of weird that they have it at the green shade. I definitely think Corn Maze should have been like a yellow shade, right? Like I feel like that's what I envisioned for Corn Mazes. I guess I get the green for like the green stalk, like what the corn goes on. But I definitely can just envision like yellow. But you know what's so funny is I have never been inside a corn maze. I would love to. I think they do one down here. I don't exactly know where it's at, but I think they do a corn maze. Although I don't think we really grow corn down here. But I remember there being like a corn maze like attraction I remember seeing for like Halloween. I'll definitely have to find one if they do, because I feel like that'd be so cool to check out. But not gonna lie, I'd be absolutely terrified to go into one because I have seen far too many horror movies that involve corn mazes. The biggest one may not be a horror movie to everybody, but it's one to me, and it's the movie Signs, and I will forever be traumatized by that scene at that kid's birthday party when the alien just pops out. Scared the living shit out of me. And that's something that I really do appreciate about my mom. Well, my mom let me watch that on my own. I think I was like only like 13 or 12 when that movie came out. So I watched it on my own, like in my bedroom. I had like a little VHS player and I rented it from Blockbuster. And I watched it and I freaking loved that movie, but it scared the crap out of me. But my mom was very notorious for like letting me watch scary movies as a kid. So she had me watch like The Poltergeist. She had me watch The Exorcism. She had me watch The Fly. Ugh. Such a gross movie. She was just very into wanting to expose it to me young because she loved horror movies. And I think that's absolutely amazing, because if I have a kid, I'd want to do the same thing. Like, I'd rather watch the horror movies with me than like watch it with like somebody else. You know, I'd rather experience that together. But so funny is I don't think that my mom ever intended to, but the movie Twister, I saw that as a little girl, and that opening scene, like the THX, for years scared the living daylights of me. Because Twister scared me, and the only reason Twister scared me is the very opening scene when the door flew off and the little girl's, like Joe's dad, flew off with it. I was petrified by that scene because I am such a daddy's girl that I was like, oh my god, I got so scared. So I always hated that opening scene, like the THS, because that was always associated with Twister for me. So I'm over that fear now, but yeah, I remember that being like an irrational fear. That and planes. I used to think that there was gonna be something on the plane. Now we're working while blending that in. We're going to go into the shade Leaf Peeping right here. Again, I don't know what that means, but it must be something. Or maybe like it's peeping through, like the color's peeping through. I don't know. Okay, so I think I might do next to kind of like tie it all in together. I'm going to go in with my Jaclyn Cosmetics. This is the Balm Loose Highlighter right here. And I'm just going to take a little bit on my finger, like this very, very light shade. And I'm just going to lightly just kind of boop right here in the center, just so I can add a little extra oomph to make it kind of pop more. Do you guys see that? See how it just like kind of just brings it out just a little bit more, just like so? So pretty. See, that's kind of fall-esque, you know? Kind of reminds me of Florida Gators just a little bit, but we're just gonna go with it. So I'm gonna quickly do the other eye off camera. I'm gonna come back with my lashes on, and we're gonna finish up the under eye together, and then I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts on the Nomad Cosmetics Hudson Valley palette. So now that makeup is on, I kind of want to go back into that like maroon shade. I don't know if it's gonna work with these colors, but I kind of want it to work. I kind of envisioning it working, but at the same time I don't know if it's going to, but we're gonna make it work regardless. So we're gonna go very, very lightly back into that shade Wine Harvest right here, just to line underneath our waterline. I actually, in the middle of filming this video, got contacted by Nomad Cosmetics. This palette is actually going to retail for $39, and you guys can also buy the shades individually. So if you guys don't want to buy the whole palette, but just want to buy a couple of shades, they're going to be $5 a piece. So I'm so glad they got back to me, and I was able to answer that question, because I was like, oh, I think it's $39, but I just wasn't sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this brush, and just very, very, very lightly, we're just going to lay this color right here. I am not trying to go heavy or too deep, because I do know these are kind of clashing colors, but I just want to have fun with it too. Like, I love playing with color, and if things don't work out, like, I'm okay with that, because you could just easily fix it. And that's why I like doing my eyeshadow first before I like do the rest of my makeup, because you know, I know that like I tend to mess up a lot, and it's just, I don't know, I find it easier just to do it first. Kind of doesn't go with it, but like I kind of like it too. It's a little different, and I like having it be a little different. Just want to incorporate just a little bit of those fall colors. I might tap a little bit of Cider House right here, very, very, very lightly, like ever so slightly, just bringing it down underneath. Like barely any color to that. By the way, I meant to ask, who is caught up with House of Dragons? So last night was season 5. Last night was episode 5. Y'all, I literally said to Corey, I feel like they're moving the storyline kind of fast. Like, I know what's going to happen to the characters in long run, because I did watch Game of Thrones, and I did look at the timeline when the first episode came out, because I was just kind of curious, like how far along like Rhaenyra Targaryen was to Daenerys Targaryen. Like, I was trying to understand the timeline, so like, I did kind of spoil something for myself, which I'm okay with. But like I told Corey last night, I feel like they're kind of like rushing the show just a tad, because when they showed scenes for next week's episodes, I was like, what? Like, I understand that there's going to be a time jump at some point, but like, how many seasons is this show supposed to be, right? So like, are we going to be doing like 2 to 3 seasons? Are we doing more? Like, I just kind of felt like they were rushing it just a tad. If we're going to go ahead, I'm not trying to do spoilers, but next week, I think there's like the 10-year jump, and I get it, but at the same time, like, why not just slow it down and have the first season just be when she's young Rhaenyra, you know? And I'm not gonna lie, I think Rhaenyra is such a beautiful, beautiful name. I would not be surprised if there are children named Rhaenyra later on in life, because I can totally see that being a really beautiful name. Like, I literally said to Corey last night, Rhaenyra is so beautiful. My thing is though, if I would have read the books first, I actually have the books on my wish list. So I can get them by the end of the year. I could fill out my Amazon wish list. Like, I'm trying to like, you know, shop that. Like, whenever I go to the store or bookstore, I haven't done that in a minute, but like I look at my Amazon wish list, I find it there, I might get it. But I wanted to read the books, right? But my thing is though, and this is my same thing when it comes to like, you know, the Lord of the Rings series, like I would love to read that as well. But my thing is though, like, would I understand the names? Because like, if I don't know someone's name, I just like read over it. I just like pretend that I know their name, right? I'm just like, oh, this is what it is. And then until like, I hear it in person. So like, I feel like if I didn't watch the show first, I don't know if I would have said Rhaenyra. Like, I really don't know if I would have said that. So I'm just kind of curious to see, like, I'm sure there's like other characters like in the book that we have not been introduced yet that like I might mispronounce wrong. But like, you know, I know that there's like stuff in like the Lord of the Rings series that I'm sure there's like stuff that I will not understand. Like right now, we are currently watching The Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings show on Amazon. And I am actually enjoying this show. I know some people don't really care about it, which by the way, I just found out is the #1 most expensive show to be made. It cost $56 million per episode. The fuck? Like, that's insane. That's insane. But you know, it's Amazon, so like it makes sense. But literally, we were watching this and I was so confused at first, because like I've seen all the Lord of the Rings movies. I freaking love Lord of the Rings. I love the Hobbit series. And we were watching it and I was like, damn, like I feel like I'm kind of lost. Like, I feel like I should know more about the Middle Earth. Like, I feel like I know more, but they're saying like the Southlands and stuff like that I've never heard of. So I'm like, am I lost? And so I actually had to look it up, and thank God for fandom, because fandom said that the Lord of the Rings, or the Power of the Rings, takes place in the Second Age, and Lord of the Rings takes place just like in the Third Age. So this is like 1,000 years prior. I'm like, okay, that makes sense, because I was really lost there for a second. And I can't find my little brush to do my things. But I'm gonna go back in with those like little highlighters, my little Jaclyn Cosmetic highlighter, just to quickly do my brow bone and inner corner. But yeah, I was like, oh my God, Corey, do we need to go back and like watch the show? Because I feel so lost right now. But I will say the graphics on the show are really beautiful. And like some of the shots that they did with like slow-mo, I can definitely see like why it's expensive. But I was just blown away when they said that it was $56 million. And I also saw that like Jeff Bezos' son told his dad, don't mess up the show, because he loves Lord of the Rings and he was scared that I guess that Jeff Bezos was gonna mess it up. Alrighty, so let me go ahead and do my lips off of camera, guys, and we're gonna come back and I'll give you guys my thoughts on the Nomad Cosmetics Hudson Valley palette. Alright guys, and this is my final look. So what are my thoughts on the new Nomad Cosmetics Hudson Valley palette? Well, first off, I absolutely love the packaging. I think the packaging says it all. It is the most beautiful like fall themed palette that I have seen in terms of packaging. It is seriously breathtaking. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a fall palette. Is this right here? Like, I just wish that all the fall themes look like this palette, because it truly says fall when I look at it. It gets me so excited and just matches my background beautifully. Then when you open it up on the inside, you do have 15 shades for the price of $39. Like I said earlier, you guys can purchase the shades individually if you guys do not want to buy the entire palette. And you guys can use code Allie, which will save you guys 10% off your purchase. But I have to say, this is such a beautiful, beautiful palette. There's going to be 12 mattes in here and 3 shimmers. And while I do wish there's a little bit more shimmers, I do think it works out beautifully. Like, I would have loved to have seen a little shimmer and maybe like almost like a white shimmer to complete this palette. But I do think it's really beautiful on its own. I love the fall side, but I also really do love like the cool tone muted greens as well. It's what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I do think I'm rocking like Florida Gator colors, like minus like the underneath. I'm just trying to show off this palette as best as I can. I've been using a lot of like the oranges, the yellows, and like the reddish maroon colors a lot lately to show you guys fall looks. So it's kind of nice to show you guys that green can be incorporated and can be taken as fall as well, just depending on what color it is and how you guys use it. Screams fall. I mean, screams Florida Gators, but you know, it works. I do wish that I could make the first look work, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. But I really do like this look that I have right now. I think it's really pretty. Now, I definitely think this palette is perfect for the fall season. If you guys are looking for a fall aesthetic palette that has a different variety of colors in here of the yellows, oranges, reds, maroons, browns, cool tone greens, then this is definitely going to be the palette for you. Is it my absolute favorite fall palette? It's not my absolute favorite fall palette, but I would say it ranks up in the top 3 of my favorite fall palettes. My first still is the Colored Rain Queen Bee palette. My second is the P. Louise like orange palette, and this will be my third favorite. This is taking the third spot for my top 3 favorite fall palettes of 2022, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I will say, out of all the Nomad palettes, this is my absolute favorite. Like, this is my absolute favorite Nomad palette. This is just everything I'm looking for. I think it's such a beautiful palette, and I definitely think it's well worth it. So thank you guys so much for seriously gifting this to me in PR. You guys know how much I love Nomad Cosmetics. I'm forever grateful to Mikey for introducing me to them, and I just think it's really cool that this is one of the few indie brands that give back to every single destination that they visit. I think that's absolutely amazing, and you guys know I love supporting brands that give back, especially when it comes to protecting the environment and protecting the animals. That to me means everything. It's why I'm kind of like over this whole buying all the new makeup stuff, because I'm really over consumption. It's extremely harmful to the environment. I don't need any more makeup. It just gets really wasteful. So it's why you guys want to see my purchases slow down a lot. But I'm very grateful to brands like this that do give back to the causes that they represent. Yeah, I think it's such a wonderful palette. So Nomad Cosmetics, you guys created such a beautiful fall palette. I love the eye look that I created, and just gets me so excited for the fall season. And now this is gonna become a bucket list of mine to go visit, because this just looks so freaking pretty. So that is it for today's video, guys. I really do hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to enter my 40,000 subscriber giveaway, go ahead and do so. I'll have the link down below. The giveaway does close this coming Friday, so make sure you guys go enter. And if you guys like this video, make sure you guys give this video a cheeky thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe if you guys have not already, so to post post 4 to 5 videos a week. Make sure you guys head over to my other channel. It's R for Life. You guys get to see my cool, wonderful adventures, my amazing husband Corey. We do have half a vlog finished. And a huge thank you goes to all these beautiful, wonderful page members you guys see right here. Thank you guys so much for everything. And to my subscribers and viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. Whether you guys like this video, you guys thumbs down this video, you guys subscribed, you guys did not subscribe. Either way, thank you guys so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. So with that said, guys, I love you, and I'll see you guys very next video. Bye. Nomad. But we're going to be reviewing the new, really represent that. I did not know that this was actually going to be located in, that's going to be located, where is, now I did not know this is actually located in, definitely like unique time zone and definitely like unique, they said that not everybody's going to be receiving this in their, they said not everybody's going to get this. They did say that not everybody's going to get this, but they did, the great Latin, and then they asked, it's so special, and it's so special. This is where Felicia grew up, and it's so special destination. Oh my God, I gotta read this all over again. Oh, but is it my favorite of all?